I go through phases, of course, where I say that I'm going to make a whole bunch of videos, and it never works. It started with Booktubeathon last year, and then it was NaNoWriMo, and then it was Christmas. Now it is nearly May of 2018. Anyway, I am in my uni course and I'm really loving it, and it's about writing, and I'm really hoping to get to go to more book events this year. Not get to go, they're free events. I'm hoping to go to more book events, and so I'm hoping that that really kicks me into making more videos. But I'm very excited about May because I'm doing some readathons, hopefully, that I will remember to film. But I really do definitely want to start making videos. I was having a look around at some tags, and I was looking at the, I don't know what it's called, like the newbie booktuber or the new to booktube or something like that tag. I didn't like all of the questions, but I am going to do the how I read tag. I can't remember who I first saw do this. I will link their video below and probably put up like here who that was, but that was really good. They did it with a friend of theirs, and I had a lot of fun with that. So I am going to get my bullet journal and answer the questions. Sorry if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my bullet journal, which is another thing that I'm going to start doing back in May. The first question of the how I read tag is, how do you find out about new things to read? I watch a lot of booktube. This week I've been watching a whole bunch of booktube. Haven't in the past like month, but I was doing a lot before. I hear about a lot of books from there, but a lot of booktube is like YA contemporary romance and fantasy, which are genres that I like. I barely read fantasy though because it takes me ages to get through, and I love YA contemporary, but I'm really trying to move away from that at the moment. So I'm not getting a whole bunch of recommendations from there. Also Goodreads, I go through that and I see books that other people liked that I like, or I just will scroll through lists or different groups that people have made. A lot of like reading groups on Booktube, I'll go through their their reading lists, like book clubs and stuff. But I think the main way that I get new books is probably just looking at bookstores. That's how I find most of the things. Although at the moment I am working my way through a pile of books that I already own, so I won't be buying anything new for a while, hopefully. The second is, how did you get into reading? Okay, so my mum is a writer, and so she read to me from a very young age. I don't actually remember learning how to read because I went to a school that didn't teach it until grade 2. So I was a little bit late to learning how to read actually, but I was always looking at books when I was little. And yeah, how has your taste in books changed? When I was little, I read quite a bit. I didn't read a lot of fantasy, but I think I read more fantasy. I read like Harry Potter, I read Eragon, didn't get through the whole series, but I read Eragon, Deltora Quest, Spiderwick Chronicles, things like that. I definitely read a lot more like fantasy adventure stuff than I do at the moment, but I did always read like the contemporary, like I read Kathy Cassidy and Sarah Destin and stuff when I was like 12, although I will say that when I was little I definitely did read a lot more historical fiction than I do now, which is definitely something I want to change because I remember loving it. How often do you buy books? As I just said before, not too often at the moment because I am trying to save money, but also I'm making my way through a whole bunch of books. When I do buy books though, I've never order online. I probably should because it's cheaper, but I really like going, sorry, I just realized the lighting is gross. I really like actually going into bookstores and seeing them, and that's a huge part of things for me. So I will still go into bookstores like twice a week or something, just in the city in breaks, but I rarely buy books, and if I do, it's probably when I've just like been paid for a babysitting job and I'll be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go spend $50 in books and then not buy anything for a few more months. How did you get into booktube? I started a book review blog when I was 12, similar to how I am with videos now. I very, very rarely uploaded, and then I started another one. I think I first, in terms of like booktube, I think I first found Bookstagram through Instagram, and then I think the first person that I remember watching was either Ariel Bassett or Peru's Project, and then yeah, and that was about like maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago probably. How do you react when you when you don't like an ending. Okay, so if I hate the ending, I just kind of get mad, like I don't do anything. Sometimes if I really, really hate it, I'll write a review, but as I said, I very rarely write reviews. And if it's sad, I'm not very much one to cry at books. I think I've cried in like maybe 3, so it's gotta be really, really sad or really hit a chord. Yeah, I don't really know what I do when I finish reading a book. And the final question is, how often do you take a sneak peek at the end of a book? Never. I never take sneak peeks. Sometimes if I'm reading and I'm like at the end of the chapter and I can see that the chapter ends on the other half of the page, I'll like glance over or like try to stop myself from glancing over, and it's super, super hard, but I never sneak peek at the end. I used to have a friend who every time I lent her a book would straight away go and look at the last page. I don't lend her books anymore. The final question is this tag was, who are you going to tag? But as I don't really exist on Booktube, I don't know anyone to tag, and everyone who I watch is way bigger and wouldn't notice my tag, and also has probably already done this. So that is all for today. I hope you liked it. I will be getting up another video. I don't know if it's going to be before or after this, but probably within a few days of this video, just because I'm doing some vlogging at the moment. And look out for me, because I am doing a whole bunch of readathons and hopefully a whole bunch of reading and book events, and it should be really good to follow me around. I will see you later. Goodbye.